Blessings family, wagwan. Welcome to another video. Happy Friday. Me say a long time me not put out anything, but guys, I'm telling you, sometimes we have to create a balance. Right now we're gonna talk about an explosion that happened in Kenya. My gosh, it's a 3 killed hundreds injured in Kenya explosion. And we know Kenya is in Africa. You know, we are bringing you some news from way across the world. A truck loaded with liquid petroleum gas cylinders exploded and set off a late night inferno that burned homes and warehouses in Kenya's capital, Nairobi. Oh my goodness, killing at least 3 people, injuring more than 270. Officials said Friday, with the death toll expected to rise. Oh my goodness, make that soak in. Them say at least 23 people were critically injured. The Kenya Red Cross indicated that the truck was parked inside a gas cylinder storage and a filling site that had multiple applications to operate there. Rejected last year because it was too close to residential area. So basically, them say too close to residential area. So, you know, some people, it was not authorized for people to be there. So what happened now? Kenya's Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority said, raising questions over whether the sale was operating illegally. Wow. Because if they are not supposed to be operating there and then they end up operating there, then that's a red flag. Witnesses said they heard a sound they suspected to be gas leaking from inside the storage site before at least 2 explosions and then a massive fire, and it broke out about 11:30 p.m. Thursday. A huge fireball lit up the night sky. Oh my goodness. Many residents were likely inside their homes when the fire reached their houses in the Maradi area of Nairobi. And you know, some always see, hear people talk about Nairobi. When you watch them African movie there, you always hear about Nairobi. Oh my goodness. In the neighborhood of Embasaki, government spokesman Isaac said a flying gas cylinder set off a fire that burned down a nearby garment textile warehouse. Mawara said several other vehicles and businesses were damaged by the blaze. Cell phone videos taken by witnesses showing the fireball erupted after an explosion right next to some apartment buildings. That is tragic. People were heard screaming. At the scene after daybreak, several houses and shops were burnt down. The roof of a 4-story residential building about 200 meters from the scene of the explosion was broken by another flying gas cylinder. Electric wires lay on the ground. Nothing remained in the burnt out gas storage. But how them for they store gas in a... Why? I don't know. Except the shell of the truck. Local resident Alfred Juma said residents told him they suspected there was a gas leak and he heard a loud noise from a cylinder in the storage site next to his house when he came outside. He said he started waking up the neighbors, asking them to leave. He said he warned a black car not to drive through the area, but the driver insisted. And his vehicle stalled because of the gas fumes. He attempted to start the car 3 times, and that's when there was an explosion and the fire spread. Or I'm sure I listen, you know. Setting off other explosion. The shell, I wonder if a man when they smoking in car. Who knows? The shell of the black vehicle was lying on its side in the aftermath. Juma said he grabbed 2 children and they hid in a sewage ditch until the explosion ended. His family hadn't been at home, but Juma lost everything he owned in the fire. Another witness, Charles, said Locals had previous concerns over the gas site operating in the area. He said there were at least two main explosions, the second of which knocked him and others off their feet after they left their houses to see what was happening. The government knew this liquid petroleum gas was existing in the residential area, but they did nothing. They make sure this doesn't happen again. Police said Kenya Red Cross reported 3 deaths and the toll may rise. And Wesley Kimido, the Embasaki police said. So guys, this is a very, very sad situation, you know. Very sad situation. You know, it is very important that those places don't operate in residential area, because you may never know when something is gonna start a fire. And look, they know the people them lose them life. Me never talk about the property, them lose their life, end up sick. You know, it's crazy. But anyway, condolences to the 3 people who lose their lives. And you know, I just hope that nothing like that will happen in any other parts of Kenya or the world. So we are going to hear the official report, and it's gonna show some pictures of the damage. I think we're gonna blur it because you don't know the YouTube street setup. All right, so make we watch this.
It's a dramatic one because the government, the regulator in charge of this industry, says the construction permit for this place, they applied 3 times and were denied 3 times, in March, in June, and in July of last year. But somehow it still continued to be here, operating in an area which is densely populated. These are homes all around here. And so when that explosion happened last night, there are people who were wounded and injured all around here, because this should not be happening here in the first place. But that's just one aspect of it. The petroleum industry of East Africa, which represents other dealers of similar places, says this place was demolished at least twice before because it's unlicensed, it's illegal, it should not be here. But it was here anyway. In fact, in 2020, there was a criminal case against the owner of this place. He should have gone to jail for 5 years, but somehow, despite the law, he only went to jail for a year, and he was allowed to keep some of the tankers. One of the tankers is those that exploded here last night. But look at this. There's a work permit and risk assessment board here. So this is supposed to look official, but obviously didn't work last night. There's even a fire assembly point here, and it says there in Swahili, you have to make sure that when you come in here, don't bring anything incendiary like a matchstick. Make sure you leave your phone by the security there, and make sure you're wearing PPE. All the rules that were not followed, which led to this tragedy. So many people injured and at least 3 people dead. Listen to this one survivor.
The fire caught up with me from almost 1 kilometer away as I was escaping. The flames from the explosion knocked me down and burnt me on my neck and back, as you can see. I decided to use my own means and take myself to the hospital at Mama Lucy, where I got first aid. They injected me to prevent tetanus and alleviate the pain.
Horrific burns, and the full accounting of why this was allowed to go on for so long will continue for a while. We spoke to one of the neighbors who says for a few days before the explosion they could smell gas in the air, and that could explain why the blast radius went so far. The reason why the construction permit was rejected is because, for safety reasons, there's supposed to be some calculations about how far a blast can go, and they're supposed to calculate that and present them to the regulators, and the regulators rejected it because it's just too close. That's why, for instance, last night during the explosion, there's a car that came from here, flew several hundred yards away, and landed on the rooftop of a 6th-floor building on the other side. Parts of the car are strewn all around here. So when the full accounting is done, there will be a lot of answering for the regulators that allowed this to happen, and for the administrators that didn't do anything to stop it and maybe save the lives that could have been saved here, Max.
Yes, family, that is a very, very sad situation. And, you know, a lot of times things like this do happen, but people do not take it into consideration until there was a accident. So all along they are allegedly operating this illegal place, but now it came to the extent where it caused accident and incidents, and now they are looking into investigating to see what is going to happen to those persons who were not operating this in the correct setting, right? And basically they're saying this area is densely populated. So there should be no reason for this kind of establishment so close to the residents. You understand? So it's a very sad situation with over 200 people injured. 3 has lost their lives, and now they are saying there might be more people who will be losing their lives. So we just have to be mindful of certain things. Yes, guys, moving on to another topic for those persons who are fans of the Rocky series. I think it got up to at least 5. The Apollo Creed actor Carl Weathers. He starred as Apollo Creed in the 4 Rocky films and appeared in Predator, The Mandalorian, Happy Gilmore, Action Jackson, Arrest Development, and dozens of other films. He died on Thursday. He was 76, and his family announced by saying this: "We are deeply saddened to announce the passing of Carl Weathers. He died peacefully in his sleep on Thursday, February 1st, 2024. Carl was an exceptional human being who lived an extraordinary life. Through his contributions to film, television, the arts, and sports, he has left an indelible mark and is recognized worldwide and across generations. He was a beloved brother, father, grandfather, partner, and friend." I was going to say parent. Anyway, he was born on January 14th. So he just celebrated a birthday, oh my gosh, 1948 in New Orleans, where he appeared in 75 films and TV shows during his 50-year screen career. That is good. Oh, wow. So there's a lot. The character became close to Pedro Pascal Mando as the series progressed. That's when they said he Grief Karga, the head of the Bounty Hunters Guild, in 9 episodes of the Disney Star Wars series, and the Mandalorian over its 3 seasons. So he's been doing a lot. Weathers was a 2021 Emmy nominee for the role, and also directed a pair of episodes in season 2 and 3. Wow. Oh my goodness. I remember Predator real good, and it's this man right here. Well, you can't see, but wow. Weathers is best known, and I would say is popularly known for playing Apollo Creed, the heavyweight champion of the world who gave journeyman Philly boxer Rocky Balboa, who was Sylvester Stallone, from a little me watch Rocky, Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5. So all the Rockies, where he tried Balboa to fight the British clubber Lang, that Mr. T. Creed's final film in the franchise was Rocky 4, where he was KILLED in the ring by chiseled Russian heavyweight Ivan Drago. Okay, so it's Rocky 4. Stop there, so. Rocky 5 is probably something else. Excuse me, yeah. Weathers also had a memorable turn as Derek Chubbs Peterson opposite Adam Sandler in Happy Gilmore. Me no watch that yet. He began his screen career during the era with guest shots in such hit TV series as Good Times, Kung Fu, SWAT, The $6 Million Man. I remember that movie. And Cannon. As the decade went on, he appeared in episodes of Starsky and Hutch, Barnaby Jones, Switch, The Streets of San Francisco, and other popular shows. He returned to his action roots in the late 90s TV, which he movies Assault on Devil's Island and Assault on Death Mountain. I think I watched that movie already. Starring on both opposite Hulk Hogan and Shannon Tweed. Weathers began amassing films credits in 1975 with a pair of blaxploitation Blaxploitation pics. Jeez, that's what they begin. Bucktown and Friday Foster. So it's Bucktown, Friday Foster. His other movie roles including Semi-Tough, Force 10, From Narvorone, Death Hunt, and Hurricane Smith. Wow. Wow. Creed was more interested in promoting the fight than training for it when the two finally meet amidst oh, what's this? Related. Okay, that's something different. Creed enters the ring dressed as Uncle Sam. It turns into a bout for ages with both men beating the snot out of each other. I remember that. Creed and Rocky Balboa. And then we have Michael B. Jordan playing Creed's sons, Adonis Johnson in the Creed films. You understand? So, that's really an interesting thing. And, we have to say condolences to the family. Because 76 is really a young age to die, man. But it is what it is, And this is a movie with him, Adam Sandler. Wow, he come in a lot of movies. Me never know say him this. Wow. So first, Weathers was a professional football player. Weathers played 8 games in the then Oakland Raiders in 1970 to 1971 before turning to acting. So he was a football player before he started acting. Interesting. Following the in-ring death of the character in the film, they come up with a new boxing series called Creed. Schwarzenegger also remembered Weathers in a social media post saying every minute with him on and off set was pure joy. He wrote on the Twitter, X/Twitter. He was a type of friend who pushes you to be your best, just to keep up with him. I'll miss him and my thoughts are with his family. So that's what Arnold Schwarzenegger said. Adam Sandler also said, a true great man, great dad, great actor, great athlete. So much fun to be around always. Smart as hell, loyal as hell, funny as hell. Love his sons more than anything. What a guy. Everyone loved him. Everyone loved him. My wife and I had the best times with him every time we saw him. Love to his entire family, and Carl will always be known as a true legend. Wow. That is so interesting. The Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau, sound like French, said in a statement he's heartbroken by the devastating loss. He said, he was a hero from my childhood who I was lucky enough to meet and then had an amazing good fortune to work with. He had the energy and curiosity of a young man, paired with wisdom that his rich life and career afforded him. My heart goes out to he and his family. So that is, we want to say condolences to him and his family. I mean, condolences to his family, and R.I.P. to Carl Weathers, who is Apollo Creed in the Rocky series. And this is the end of another video, Thank you so much for watching. Watch out for other videos to come. Gonna be both, local, international, and, so things set up. Look out for a lot more videos, especially the fact that this month is called Reggae Month. And make sure you buy your tickets to watch Bob Marley One Love movie on February 14th. If you have not yet done so, go ahead and get your tickets so you can watch the first movie. And if you not get to watch it the first time, you can always go watch it after I come out. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and